Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, good evening. Let's start, okay? So we saw about star schema, why we need star schema, we saw that. And then disadvantage of the flat file system also we saw. And creating a star schema from a flat file also, we saw it in the last class. Then why we need a date dimension. Uh, so we need exclusive date dimension, which has unique values and non-blanks and must not have any missing dates. Date table must be marked as date table. And how do we create it? We are creating using the Power Query. That is the M query. We are creating the date table. Okay. It can be done using DAX as well, but we are using Power Query for the date creation. So in the performance improvement checklist, we are enable load, we are unchecking that and include in report refresh. If any table is not needed for our analysis, we are unchecking the enable load and include in report refresh also, we are unchecking those two options. And then in the options and settings, data load in the time intelligence function, auto data time is unchecked over here. So that date tables, what to say, at the background, some date tables won't be created. So for that reason, as a performance improvement checklist points, we are removing this auto data time. Then next is a cross filter direction. So cross filter direction means each model relationship is defined with a cross filter direction. Your setting determines the directions that filter will propagate. The possible cross filter options are dependent on the cardinality type. Okay, cross filter direction means in which direction the filters will go. That is from customer table, the filter will go to the sales table. Something like that. If you have, the flow will be in that direction from the customer table to the fact sales table, it will go. And they say that it depends on the cardinality type. So cardinality type, we have one to many or many to one to one and many to many. We have these are the cardinality type we have. And if we observe the cross filter direction for each cardinality, for one to many or many to one, the cross filter direction can be single or both. For one to one, any relationship like that, the cross filter direction will be both direction. And if it is many to many, it will be like a single table 1 to table 2 or single table 2 to table 1 or both direction. Okay. So this is the cardinality type and the cross filter direction. The format, how it is arranged, this is the format. Single cross filter direction means that it is a single direction, whereas both means both directions. A relationship filters in both direction is commonly described as bidirectional filter. Next one we'll see is about the cardinality. In cardinality, we have four different types like one to many, many to one, and many to many. One to many and many to one cardinality options are essentially the same, and they are also the most common cardinality types. When configuring one to many or many to one relationship, you will choose one that matches the order in which you're related the columns. Consider how you would configure the relationship between the product table and the sales table by using the product ID column found in each table. The cardinality type would be one to many, and the product ID in the product table contains unique value. If you relate the tables from the sales to the product wise, the cardinality will be as many to one. So it is either one to many or many to one. It is dependent on which direction you configure the tables. So one-to-one relationship means both column contain unique values. This cardinality type isn't common and it's likely a suboptimal model design because of the storage of redundant data. Redundant data means duplicate data or repeatedly used data, if it is there, it will be one-on-one relationship. So it's not a common type. Many-to-many cardinality, if we see, a many-to-many relationship means both column can contain duplicate values. This cardinality type is infrequently used. It is typically useful when designing complex model requirements. You can use it to relate many-to-many facts or to relate higher grain facts. For example, sales target facts are stored at product category level, and the product dimension table is stored at the product level. Ignore this relationship example. I just ignore this example. Many to many means that it may contain some duplicate values. So that is the reason why it is coming as many to many relationship. Okay. Next is role playing dimension. Role playing dimension means that suppose you have a table data modeling in this format between the fact sales table, product master table, and the dim date. You have a relationship created like this, and you face one scenario where there is a relationship between the date field and the sale date and the date field and the delivery date. Suppose there are two relationship happened like this, then which one will be active relationship? One relationship happened between date and the sale date. Another relationship happened between date and the delivery date. Okay. So if that is the scenario, which relationship will be active? Either one of it will be active. The last selected one will be active and the other relationship will be inactive. Okay. So the problem here is that when one relation of the delivery date with the dim date is active, the other relation of sale date with the dim date becomes inactive. To make the inactive relation active, we need to create a measure. So we'll write one DAX formula. This is one DAX formula where it says as delivery quantity is equal to calculate the count of sales receipt number, comma, use relationship, dim date, comma, sales delivery date. So it means that use that relationship which has become inactive. Use that relationship which has become inactive, make that relation also active. And I want to filter by both these values. I want to filter by sale date also, and I want to filter it by delivery date also. If that is the scenario, you use a DAX query called as use relationship. Okay. I'll repeat this once again. This is called as role playing dimension. That is in a same date table acting in different roles. One as sale date and another as delivery date. So we have the product master, sales table, and the dim date table over here. Okay. So two relationship are created between the dim date and the sales table. One relationship is between the date value and the delivery date, and the other relationship is between the date value and the sale date. So date value and the delivery date, if it is active, sorry, date value and the sale date relationship may be active. We need to activate the relationship between the date value and the delivery date. To do that, we are going to write one formula over here. Delivery quantity is equal to use relationship and activate the relationship with that of delivery date and the dim dates date, dimension date, date value, and the sales tables delivery date. So we'll write one formula over here, that is use relationship. We'll be writing one DAX formula. This is, we write it in a measure. Let me check if this is not the thing. This is also not the thing. No, I'm not getting the exact file. So we have to create one DAX function using a create a measure option. I'll tell you where the measure option is present. So we need to create a DAX function to use relationship and activate the inactive relationship. Okay. Thereby we can create chart between sales quantity by sale date and another chart between sales quantity by delivery date. If one relationship is inactive, if the delivery date relationship is inactive, the chart won't come over here. Okay, to get both the chart, you need to activate both the relationship and then you will get both the chart over here. Next concept is surrogate key. So surrogate key means that it is an alternate or synthetic key that is used as a substitute for natural key. Okay. So suppose we have some key supplier code as the primary key for our table. In that, if the values are too complex, like ABC123 hash hash, some values are very complex number is used as the primary key, then it is difficult for us to find out that primary key and find out the record corresponding to that key value. So for that reason, we'll be creating a surrogate key, which is artificial or a synthetic key that is used as a substitute for the natural key. Natural key here is supplier code, but the supplier key or the surrogate, this becomes a surrogate key because this is generated by us. 123 is generated by us. So this becomes a surrogate key. We encounter the scenario when the natural key is a complex key. The value is very complex, very big or complex value is there as the key value. Then we go for the surrogate key option. For example, we have the supplier code over here as the natural key ABC YUI, something like this as the key value. But I have created a surrogate key as 301. 301 is easy to read, and to fetch the record for Acme Supply Company, that 301 using that ID field, I can easily retrieve the value. Otherwise, I need to type some big value like ABCYUI, something like this. So this is also some advanced concept. Just know about it. This is the surrogate key. This is all some little bit advanced concept and terminologies in data modeling I'm telling. So know about it. I'll share this document, read it. You'll understand this easily. So just for reference, I'm giving all these information. So next is granularity and cardinality. Granularity means that the lowest level to which data is maintained is called granularity. Okay. So when we drill down the data or minute details in the data, if we see, so that lowest level of the data is called granularity. Example, detailed data such as seconds, single product, one specific attribute. So one particular value you are going to fetch, one minute value you are going to fetch from the big data that is given to you, then it is a granularity. The higher the granularity of the fact table, there is more data in fact. Next is cardinality. Cardinality, we already know that this is all about how many distinct values are there in a column. It is more common to call it by high or and low cardinality. product have high cardinality for big companies and small restaurants is it's low cardinality. So product means it will have multiple products. For a big company, it will have multiple products. And for a small restaurant or for a small company, it will have very few values. Example, for high cardinality, it is email IDs. Low cardinality is closed. It is about how many distinct values are there in a column. So if we see email IDs have distinct values in it. Okay, so it has high cardinality, whereas it's closed or open. Only two options is there. So that is an example for low cardinality. Okay. So this is all about data modeling. With this, I'm completing data modeling. I just want to introduce you to these terminologies. That's why I just introduced you. Okay. Anyone has any doubt? I've introduced some terminologies in data modeling, nothing else. I'll give this document. You can sit and read the same thing. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Shall we go to the next concept, which is called as DAX, data analysis expression? So next
Okay,
new
ma'am.
concept that we are going to start is the DAX. DAX means data analysis expressions. It is a library of functions and operators that can be combined to build formulas and expression used by Microsoft BI tools. DAX is also known as function language, where the full code is kept inside a function. DAX programming formula contains two data types, numeric and other. Numeric includes integer, currency, decimals, while others include string and binary object. Okay. So DAX means data analysis expression. Just like how you have formulas in Excel, no? Similar to that in Power BI, we have the DAX expression. So it is nothing but library of functions and operators. Okay. With that, we will be building some formulas. We'll write some formulas and expression. So with that formulas, we'll be handling our business scenario. Any business scenario given to us, we'll be writing a DAX expression to find out the solution for the business scenario. Okay. So first step is data transformation. When data is given, you'll do the data transformation. Second step is data modeling. You'll connect the tables that are in the uh, file. You'll connect all the tables that is present. And next step is analyzing the business scenario and writing the DAX formula for that business scenario. After writing the DAX formula, you will start creating the visualization part. Okay. So DAX formula is the next important thing. So DAX can be used with Power BI, Power Pivot for Excel, SSAS tabular model, and Azure Data Analysis Services. So we are going to use it in Power BI. So formula will be like this. Total sales is equal to sum of open bracket, close bracket. Inside that, financials. Financials is the name of our table and sales is the name of the column. Total sales is the name of the field. Okay. What name that measure or the calculated column is, that name is total sales. Sum is nothing but the DAX expression, DAX formula that we are going to write. That is sum. Sum is a DAX formula. inside sum of what we are going to find out, that we'll write inside this bracket. So here financials means the table name. Suppose sales is your table name or data is your table name, or sometimes sheet 1 of your Excel data, sheet 1 can also be your table name. So whatever is your table name, you'll put over here. In the financials, instead of financial, you'll put the table name, and then in the sales is the name of the column, which column you're going to analyze. So if you're going to analyze location, then instead of sales, it will be location, financials, location. So in Power BI, you can create two primary calculation using DAX. One is the calculated column and another is the measure. So you have two primary calculation, calculated column and measures, okay? So calculated column means that calculated column is a column that you add to an existing table and then create a DAX formula that defines the commons value. When a calculated column contains a valid DAX formula, values are created for each row as soon as the formula is entered. Values are stored in-memory data model. Okay. So example for that is equal to calendar year and Q and calendar quarter. That is year can be 2018, Q4 can be the answer you get for this expression. So this is an example for calculated column. We have created cost value, no? Cost value, how did we create in the first chart? Do you remember on the global superstore chart, we created cost value, no? That was using calculated column or measure, you can create it. Or profit value, how will you calculate? So you will subtract the values, no? Cost value is equal to um, sales minus profit gives the cost value, no? So you'll be calculating that. So that part of the calculation, you get it using the calculated columns. Whereas measures, how do you use it and where do you use that? What is the difference between calculated column and measure? So you need to know all that. Okay. So measures is dynamically calculates the formulas, combining and filtering model data by using multiple attributes. Create your own formula by using DAX formula bar. The result of a measure cannot be determined without context. Total sales is equal to sum of sales amount. Sum of sales amount is a measure. Okay. So calculated column will take memory in the table view. Calculated column will create memory in the table view, whereas measures are calculated dynamically using a formula. So combining and filtering model data by using multiple attributes. You create your own formula by using the DAX formula bar, and the result of the measure cannot be determined without a context. So total sales is equal to sum of sales amount. So if you want to see the difference between the calculated column and measure, you can see that calculated column expands table by creating new column. Measure, it summarizes the data into a single value. I'll repeat this, expands the table by creating a new column. A new column will be created for the calculated column. Whereas measure, what will it do? It will summarize the data into a single value. Calculated columns are stored along with table and consumes memory, whereas measures are calculated at runtime and are stored temporarily. Okay, so measures are not stored, it doesn't occupy memory space, whereas calculated column, if you create it, it occupies a memory space. Example for calculated column is new product is equal to product item and product category. That is item and category you have, or profit is equal to sales amount minus cost amount. Whereas how will you write the formula over here for measure? Total profit is equal to sum of sales amount minus sum of cost amount. Okay. Let me just load this data alone. Go to this table view. Let me profit column, let me just remove it. Okay, we have the sales amount and the cost amount over here. Okay. On the home tab, you have something called as new measure, new column, new table, quick measure. You have all these options over here on the top. Or else when you go to report view, when you right click on this data, you'll have option called as new measure, new column, new quick measure. Okay. First, let us create a new column. So new column is a calculated column. Profit is equal to sales amount minus cost amount. So we have to do that. The profit is equal to sales amount minus cost amount. So when I do this, here a calculated column will be created. Profit is created over here. Previously profit was not there. I removed it. Now profit is created on our data. And if we go to table view and check that, we'll get a column named as profit. It will occupy space in the memory in the table view. Do you understand? Should I repeat this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll repeat it, okay? So right click over this data, select as new column option. New column, you give as profit. Profit is equal to square bracket. You're going to take the column name called sales amount over here. Sales amount minus the column name cost amount. The column name over here, no? Cost amount. So when you do that, it will create a column named profit on your table structure over here. And when you go to the table and when you check that, a column called as profit will be created. This is calculated column. Okay. Whereas if I have to create a measure, measure means total profit is equal to sum of sales amount minus sum of cost amount. This will summarize or aggregate the data into a single value. Okay. I'll rename it as profit measure is equal to sum of, sum should be in capitals, all the letters should be in capital. Sum of data is the name of our table. So give us data sales amount minus sum of data is again our table name, and inside you give the sales amount minus cost amount. Okay, this is for measure. Sales amount minus cost amount is a formula, but how we write for calculated column and for measure differs. So I have named it as profit measure. Now I'll click this tick mark over here and commit it. You'll get profit measure over here. Okay. Do you see a new measure created over here? This is called as profit measure. It is created. But if I go to this table view and check check it, a new profit measure column won't be created. Okay. So it dynamically creates the value, or it doesn't occupy the memory space. So this is the example for calculated column and measure. So using a card visual, I can see the output for measure. Okay. So both the output, either using calculated column or using the measure, whatever you see over here is the output. Profit measure and sum of profit, whatever we get over here is the same. So the only difference is that calculated column will take memory space over here, whereas measure doesn't take the space. Is it clear now? The formula is there on the PPT. I'll share the PPT. So you can see the formula. Profit is equal to sales amount minus cost amount, or total profit is equal to sum of sales amount minus sum of cost amount. Before the sales amount, you can put the table name, that is data or sales, whatever it is your table name. You can put the table name before the sales amount over here. And also before the cost amount, you can put the table name. Between this curly bracket and square bracket, you have some space, no? There you can put the table name.
Uh,
Okay, initially it will look something like Greek and Latin. I'm telling something like that it will look, but you practice, it is very easy to get hands-on on DAX. Rather than using Power Query Editor and doing transformation and all that, writing DAX will be more easy in due course. Okay, initially it will look strange and different, but you can easily pick up this one. Okay,
Ma'am?
yeah.
Yeah, in the calculated column, in the fifth point, is that a formula? New product equal to.
Yeah.
Can you please give some example like you given to the profit, right, ma'am? Likewise, can you
Yeah, yeah.
explain?
This also you can create using a calculated column. So go to the stable view over here, home tab, create a new column over here. So I want to combine two columns, that is product category and the product name. Suppose I want to combine them. How will I combine? Product calculated I'm giving as a name is equal to product category and hyphen and product name. Okay, so I'm a calculated column. Can you see one column is getting ready? A new column will get ready when I create a calculated column. So I'm going to combine the value of this product category column and the product name column, and I'm going to separate it with the hyphen symbol. So let me give OK. So column called as product calc is created with that of the casual wear and jeans Zara. Casual wear jeans Zara, it will be created like this. So this is an example for calculated column.
Ma'am, the symbol that you have given in the double quotes, ma'am, we have to use that same symbol everywhere for the separation of two columns.
It's up to you. Like if you want to give a hash symbol, you can give that. You can give anything over there. Inside double quotation, you have to give some symbol to separate it. Otherwise, even you can leave a space in between. You can give a space over here between double quotes.
If the I don't want any space means we don't need to put the double quotes, nothing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay, okay, thank you.
nothing inside this double quotes.
Thank you, thank you.
Ma'am, we can
Okay.
combine only two columns, two or more columns. That
You can combine two or more columns.
okay, ma'am.
And when to use this new column and new measure? Any specific condition is there?
New column. So if you want your answer to appear on the table view, you go for new column. Otherwise, you go for measure. Measure is like it doesn't occupy more memory. So usually we prefer measure, creating measure, but occasionally we go for creating a calculated column. We'll see some example and business scenario, no? Then you'll understand like when to create the calculated column and measure. Measure is the one which we'll continuously be using, new measure. That only we'll be using for the DAX function. But in case you want to create a new column, like you want to check this product details over here, like which category it belongs, you want to create a new column and check it, you will do that. Otherwise, if you want the profit values to be seen, like subtracting two values row by row, and you want to get the values over here, you can do that also. Okay, so row by row calculation, it will be perfect when you do with the calculated column. Whereas row by row calculation, when you do with a measure, no, you have to write it in a different format. What I wrote now is just for an example I wrote, but actually for row by row calculation, we will be writing a different format of formula. Okay, so we'll see one by one, then you will understand like when you can go for calculated column and when you can go for measure. Mostly measure is the one we'll use as it doesn't occupy much memory space. Like it doesn't occupy memory space in the table.
Okay.
So if for measure total sales is equal to sum of sales amount, you can create that. You can go to this view, new measure, total sales is equal to sum of data sales amount. So total sales will be created. So in a card visual, you can see the total sales. Okay, so it will aggregate the value or summarize the value and it will put the values over here. We have created a new measure. This one we have created using a new measure. So it will summarize the value and it will show the output over here. So in the card visual, you can see output, or on a table visual, you can go and see a output. Next is quick measures. Quick measures are used to quickly and easily perform common and powerful calculation. So when you don't have hands-on on DAX functionality, it is based on the input you give in a dialog box. There are many categories of calculation and ways to modify each calculation to fit your needs. Create a quick calculation in Power BI Desktop. Right click or select the ellipsis next to an item in the fields pane. Choose a new quick measure from the menu that appears. So you will be having new quick measure option over here. After new measure, new column, there is one option called as new quick measure. In that you can select like average per category. If you give it, and if you give the column headings over here, it will create a quick measure and show you. For example, if you go to Power BI, right click, new quick measure, average per category, base value is a sale amount and category is like product category if I give it. And if I give add over here, a new column will get added. Sales amount average per product category will get added. And if you observe, a formula is created for it. I didn't write any formula. The formula will be auto created. The DAX formula will be auto generated. So you can use that in a card visual and put this value. Okay, so quick measure, how did we do? I just selected average per category and gave us sum of sales amount. And the product category I gave over here. For the category value, I gave it as product category and just clicked as add. So you'll get the values over here. So when I select any category, the values will change accordingly. Okay. So this is about the quick measure. In quick measure, what are the options we have? We have aggregate per category, like average per category, variance per category, maximum per category, minimum per category, weighted average per category, filtered value, difference from filtered value, percentage difference from the filtered value, sales from new customers, time intelligence like year to date, quarter to date, month to date, year over year, quarter over quarter, month over month change, rolling average, running total, total for category, filters applied and filters not applied, mathematical operation like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, percentage, and correlation coefficient, and text like star rating and concatenated list of values. All these are the quick measures option that are available. But apart from this quick measure also, we have so many other formulas that we can write using DAX. So quick measure, you'll rarely use it. Like when it is a common formula or a repeated formula, you'll go for quick measure. Otherwise, you can use the DAX functionality. You can write the DAX function and create it. There are some consideration and limitation for the quick measures. For example, you can use quick measure added to the fields pane with any visual in the report. You can always see the DAX associated with the quick measure by selecting the measure in the fields list and looking at the formula in the formula bar. Quick measures are only available if you can modify the model. One exception is the case when you're working with some live connection like SSEAS tabular live connection are supported as previously described. So you can't relate time intelligence quick function when working in a direct query mode. Direct query mode means when you are connecting it with an SQL, no, you will have two connection option. One is import mode and one other is direct query mode. So if you're connecting with a direct query mode, you will have some problem like it can't create the time intelligence function. Time intelligence quick measures, it can't be created in the direct query mode. Okay, so there are some limitations with the quick measures. So it is preferred to use the DAX functions. So this is all about this PPT, nothing is there in it. We'll quickly go for the attendance and then we'll discuss the topic which we saw today. Again, you just figure out your doubts and keep it ready. We'll discuss it, okay? Meanwhile, I'll take the attendance. Tejaswini, Sanjay, Dilip.
Present, ma'am.
Sanjay is present.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Dilip. Dilip, are you Mati? Someone has to mute their mic. Are you Mati? Anusha? Yalini?
Present, ma'am. Yalini present.
Okay. Kavinaya?
Present, ma'am.
Rahul?
Present, ma'am.
Sanjay? Suganya?
Present, ma'am.
Avudayappan?
Present, ma'am.
Shushant? Vidya?
Yes, ma'am.
Gopu?
Yeah.
Suganti?
Present, ma'am.
Pavitra?
Present, ma'am.
Bushra Begum? Spurti?
Present, ma'am.
Durga Devi?
Yes, ma'am.
Vardhini? Nitin? Sabita? Sambhavi? Ritvik?
Present, ma'am.
Agilan? Priyanka?
Present, ma'am.
Hari? Manasa?
आज
प्रमोद?
देखो पावर भी ओपन भी नहीं की, सब थियरी सिखा रही है।
Mansa?
मैंने तुमको वीडियो भेजा था, वो कितना अच्छा है। तेरा
प्रमोद?
मैंने वीडियोस भेजा
Someone
था।
has to mute their
नहीं
mic,
मनीष,
please.
वही करने वाली हूँ मैं अभी।
हजार का भी है।
एक 10 वीडियो देखूंगी, थोड़ा प्रैक्टिस करूंगी तो आ ही जाएगा वो। मुझे क्या आई नो, एक मतलब
Okay,
क्या
someone
चाहिए
has
वो
to
भी
mute
मिलेगा
their mic.
मेरे को रेडीमेड। आई हैव टू जस्ट मेरा डेटा लेके वो बिल्ड करना है
Rupa?
बस।
You have to mute your mic. Pramod? Sushmita?
Present, ma'am.
Ashwati?
Present, ma'am.
Edwin?
Present.
Ashmita?
Yes, ma'am.
Sirinayaki?
Yes, ma'am.
Venkatesh? Ranjit?
Over my kicks.
Govardhini?
My leg also, na?
Yes, ma'am.
Rupa?
प्रेजेंट।
Divya?
प्रेजेंट मैम।
Saravnaraj?
Yeah, present.
Nagendran? Baurya? Manisa? Benita? Abhinadas? Onmati?
Present, ma'am.
Jasir? Aarti? Yamini? Pavitra? Girish? Lavanya?
Present, ma'am.
Rasita?
Yes, present.
Sindhu Sai? Sandhya?
Present, ma'am.
Nancy? Nancy?
Hindu present.
Nancy.
Present, ma'am.
Savana?
Yes, ma'am.
Rahul? Shankar? Ashwati? I'll mark your attendance, Benita Thomas.
Ma'am, 52 number Girish present, ma'am.
Okay. Guys, if you have any doubt, just tell it openly, okay? If you don't understand anything or you want some demo or anything, you just tell it openly to me. We'll see the possibility and we'll have any additional demo or anything, we'll do that, okay? Any doubts in today's class? Do you understand calculated column and measure?
I will watch again.
Okay. What, which point did you didn't understand, Gopu?
But I'm not sure about today's ma'am. I want to again watch and
Again, on Monday, I'll explain about calculated column and measure. So we'll revise that
yeah.
and then we'll start with the next topic so that you'll get the idea clearly. Okay.
Ma'am, you
Yeah,
said
okay.
cardinality about two things. One is one to many, many to one, that one, and one more is distinct value. In an interview, what about they ask what is the meaning of cardinality, where they use means what we have to say, ma'am.
Cardinality tell about one to many, tell about that.
Okay.
So high and low cardinality is for telling like um the word meaning of that word cardinality, no? For
Yes,
that
ma'am.
alone, I have just mentioned that. So ignore about that. Tell about the types of cardinality you know.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. One to many, many to one, that is.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Hi, ma'am. Ma'am,
Right.
I feel I completed the SQL and the Excel. Compared to both, I feel Power BI is better, easy like that because it's only data visualization. Only we need the practice to make it. What do you feel?
Yes, yes.
What do you feel about Power BI
Yeah.
is easy? Yeah.
Power BI is easy only. Just the data visualization part we are doing. And if you know SQL, it is very easy to write DAX function.
Okay. Our practice only must here, right, ma'am?
Yes, yes, practice only. It will be repeated scenarios only will be asked. You won't be facing any new scenarios. Majority of the scenario we'll discuss in the class itself, like how to write and handle this scenario, that scenario. I'll just give the business scenario and I'll ask you to write the DAX function. So it will be easy only to pick up. And when you go to job, it will be very easy. Like it will come handy for you to write the DAX query for the business scenarios. So you
Ma'am,
just
what?
have to know the terminologies behind it. So once you know it, Power BI is a very easy tool. Like anyone, even without the basic programming knowledge, can also use Power BI and start creating the reports.
Ma'am, BI means business intelligence, right?
Yes, yes.
Ma'am, and then can you tell about the job opportunities in Power BI?
I'll tell towards the last class, no, like when I'm discussing about resume, LinkedIn, and all that, I'll tell about the job opportunities in Power BI.
Okay.
So when you're beginning, you will be beginning like a junior Power BI developer role mostly. And when you're moving ahead, you can become a consultant, architect, and so on.
Actually, ma'am, I joined for data analytics course. That course this tool also included. Can I search a job in data analytics only or Power BI also?
You can search in Power BI also.
Okay.
You'll get more opening in Power BI than for data analytics.
Okay.
Power BI, it is a recent tool and they have more requirement for Power BI. So getting a job using Power BI tool will be easy. You need to create more projects and work on it. So for that only I told about the YouTube link. You just take up the end-to-end projects from YouTube and start practicing it, I told you. So you can put that projects in your resume as well that you have created these projects. Um, yeah, that would be good.
Okay, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you're extracting the data only from the Excel, ma'am. Can you please show me how it is, if it is from SQL, how you can extract?
Yeah, I'll show it in next class.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Any other doubt, guys? In today's class, any doubt from today's class? Calculated column and measure, I'll explain once again in next class. Next class, we'll see about row context, filter context, how to write the DAX formulas, and how to do sum operation and sumx, a formula called a sumx is there. What are the DAX function, DAX operators, what all is there, we'll see. And how we'll start writing the formulas and for the scenarios, and we'll see like why and when we should use which formulas. We'll start seeing that in upcoming classes. So today I told about the basic thing for the DAX writing. Okay. If any doubt, you just ask me. I'll explain it to my level best. I'll explain it. Otherwise, ping me separately also. I'll explain it when the time permits. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Thank you all. We'll meet on Monday.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.